Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Friday Night Flights. We got the regular old gang here getting ready to fly. We're in the AeroElvira Optica tonight, getting ready to fly around the Falkland Islands, and I'm glad to see everybody. Let's see here. If anybody feels like joining us, we always have room in the group. All the information for joining us is in the stream tab. So if you feel like joining us, please do. We always have a good time. And we don't stick to procedures too much, so we just have a good time around here. And yeah, we're going to start the flight here in about 3 minutes, and we'll get these things up in the air. Thanks for joining.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Are we all in the police? You're in the police for not?
Yeah, I think I see only myself in the police version of it. Apparently there's other liveries available, but I couldn't get any of them to work.
Yeah, Wingnut and I both did the yellow one, but Wingnut's looks white to me, but mine looks yellow to me, but I look white to him.
Oh, I see.
Apparently the livery choices don't work right.
Right. Well, it's apparently it's not broadcasting it properly, but at least we see each other in the correct airplanes. This airplane's pretty fun. We used to fly this all the time back in the FSX days. One of our buddies had a version of it that he fixed up and made it really nice so we could fly. But this is a really nice one right out of the box. Obviously, if you look at the cockpit, you can tell it is a search and rescue kind of an airplane. It goes nice and slow. It has this huge egg-shaped cockpit. And my favorite joke to make is it looks like an egg, but it doesn't have a yolk. It has a stick to fly it around. So anyway, there you go. We're going to be taking off in 1 minute, guys. I think this first leg, we don't need to go too high. 2,000 feet should do it. So we're just going to be right along the ground. And we're going to be turning, I don't know, let's turn to the right. And we'll get back on track. Yeah, like I said, 2,000 feet should be enough here. And sorry, Longhorn, what was that?
Oh, wow. I was just asking if Coast came in yet.
Yeah, I saw him right behind us.
Yeah, these things aren't awful fast, but they're a lot of fun.
Right after you guys took off, you left like big puffs of dust and dust clouds and stuff on the ground.
Yeah, I saw that on that hillside back there. It kind of looked like a helicopter.
These things are so easy to fly.
So I am going to try to maintain a 90 knot airspeed here, so that'll give a little wiggle room and everybody can stay together and keep up.
Yeah, apparently the so-called supposed airspeed, cruise speed is around 87 knots.
On this thing? No, it's more like 100 and 110.
No, that's the maximum. That's the cruise speed.
Where'd you see that?
Cruise speed. Cruise speed. I saw it online. I actually looked up the specs on the Optica. I did some research on it.
I believe the one in the game here, nice comfortable cruising speed. You can even see it on the speedometer. If we go around 90 knots, we should be just fine. This says it tops out around 120, but I could only manage to get it about 110. So, like I said, we're going to be keeping it around 90 knots tonight.
But we don't have to worry about putting down the gear on this one, do we?
Nope, it's already done.
No belly flop landings today.
So it should be a good time tonight. I got a big list of fun trivia questions to ask. So hopefully everybody enjoys that. So I believe, let's see, we have been flying these Friday night flights for over 14 years now. And in all those years, this is the first time that we've ever been to the Falkland Islands. And it's quite pretty around here. I like it. It's a pretty small place. That's why we're flying something that's so slow, but it's pretty nice.
Did you do a pre-flight on this?
I did. I checked out the first couple of airports, especially after I saw that first one. I thought, oh boy, these airports are going to be hard to find if it's just a big grass field. But the two I checked out were easy to find, no problem. And the last airport is a pretty big airport. That'll be real easy to find. I suppose it would help if I put my flaps away, huh?
I slowed down to 60 knots because I got way ahead of you guys. I woke up to 2 inches of snow on the ground this morning.
You're
Oh
kidding.
no, I don't want to hear that. I looked at the weather report and they said on Sunday we might get a little bit of snow. And man, I am so over snow. I don't want any more this year. I'm done with it.
Man, it's 80 degrees down
pretty
here
much-
in Tennessee.
Really?
Jeez. Yeah, I was about to give up any hope of getting any this year, because we only get it like maybe one snowstorm like every couple of years, and then didn't get anything last year, and then this year it really hadn't had anything until this morning. So it kind of snowed off and on all day, but it's just pouring down rain right now. It's like 40 degrees out there. So apparently 60 knots is too slow.
Yeah, the stall speed's right around 47 to 40 to 50.
Yeah, you don't want to do
I
that.
started getting,
Like I said, I'm
getting the stall alarm.
going to keep it right around 90, so that should be perfect. We can go a little faster if you want to catch up, or a little slower, but it should be easy to keep together.
Oh, wow. It's kind of cool having that skylight. I can look right up and see you guys up there.
So Falkland Islands are a pretty small island chain, actually. That's why we're flying something that's so slow tonight. Otherwise, we'd get done in about 10 minutes. But it's pretty nice. There's some mountains, a lot of water. It's just off the coast of Argentina. And we are very surprisingly close to Antarctica. we're like right there. It doesn't look like it. It looks pretty nice weather around here, but we're right next to Antarctica.
And the weather apparently is pretty good because I forgot to change my weather from live weather.
Yeah, mine still has what the weather I had going on last week was, so I'm happy about that. It even remembered I raised that bottom cloud layer, and it remembered that too, so that's cool. I wonder if that was one of the new updates. So I'd like to remind everybody watching the stream that if you would like to join us, please do. We could always use more pilots. We have, I put all of the information that you might need. I put that all in the stream information at the bottom, the description for it. It has all the airports and what we're doing. And you can even join us here on Discord, where there's a shareable PLN file that you can just pop into your GPS and everything's ready to go. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing my co-pilot. It's kind of creepy, actually.
Yeah, mine's wearing a yellow hoodie. He's got a blonde hair. He looks like one of the Backstreet Boys.
Really? My guy looks pretty serious, like he's not messing around.
Mine is a woman with pink tennis shoes, pink sweatpants, and a tan coat, tan hoodie.
Nice.
It's weird, the career flight I did last night in this, there wasn't a co-pilot. So,
Really? They send you out on a job and they make you do it all by yourself, huh?
yeah, well, might as well, because the stupid co-pilot in the career mode doesn't do much.
Well, mine just gave me a creepy looking stare. I'm about to kick him out the door.
Yeah, they do kind of like have that blank stare on them.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't do much in regular flight either. They just sit there.
Well, they can take care of the radios for you in regular flight, but in career mode they won't do that.
All right, holding 90 knots at 2,000 feet. We should get there soon. This first leg, like I said, we only need to go up about 2,000 feet. The next leg we might have to climb up to about 5,000. We'll be going over a little bit of a mountain range, but right now we're good to go.
So are these, I'm assuming these are real aircraft?
Yeah, this is an actual real airplane. Oddly enough, I think the actual real-world airplane is called the AeroElvira Optica. Maybe that's the company that makes it. In the game here, they call it something like a AeroElvira or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Optica. I don't know why they call it
Okay.
that. Maybe that's the company that makes it for the game.
Okay. The guy that designed this his last name was Edgley. There was it went through different receivers. The company folded a couple times, got bought out by more companies, and he put together a group of people called Aero something or other, and they bought it out, and they're trying to bring it back now.
It doesn't look like a very
interesting.
practical plane. I mean, it just has 3 seats total in it.
Guess
Yeah,
what
in the back.
duration on this aircraft flight is?
On
is
the
it?
back tail, I have it written Brooklands Aerospace Group. So yeah, it is a pretty high-tech looking thing.
That's what the loiter time on one of these things is. And it's got an 8-hour flight time.
Wow.
Ah, that's pretty good. The only thing is it's so slow in 8 hours you won't get nowhere. Alright guys, how about a quick trivia question for you here to get started. Here's an interesting one you might not know, or maybe you do know. If you know the answer, go ahead and type it in the chat, or if you're here in the group flight, go ahead and shout it out. But here's the question. Who was the first person to fly a powered airplane in Australia? The very first person to fly an airplane in Australia.
Paul Hogan.
You have for sure heard of this person, but you might not have realized they were a pilot. There's a clue.
I don't know if I ran over your Longhorn.
Oh, I just
Why?
ran over you too.
My wife distracted me. She was asking me something. I was just flying along, not paying attention.
Yeah, that's all right. I tried to slow back down. And you can't like manage the speed very fine on this one. It's like I'm fluctuating between 80 and 90. Right now I'm at like 80 again.
So, does anybody have any idea of the answer to the trivia question? Or did I not broadcast that?
I threw my guess out there.
Oh, who'd you say?
Paul Hogan.
No, actually, that's a good guess, though.
It's the only
All
one
right.
I know that's from Australia.
Well, surprisingly, the very first person to fly an airplane in Australia was Houdini. Yep,
Really?
Harry Houdini, of all people. He just,
Houdini?
yeah, he heard that there was nobody had ever flown an airplane in Australia, so he wasn't even a pilot. But he hopped on an airplane, or however they get to Australia, and he rushed to Australia as quickly as he could, just so he could be the first person to fly an airplane in Australia. And he didn't even know how to fly, so that's kind of funny.
There's only one little known story, but he found it impossible to get out of.
Oh man, that one
Okay,
hurt.
Travis.
Speaking of Travis, did you see the message you left us down there?
Yeah. I guess he made it to his destination safely.
Yeah, I hope he's enjoying his vacation. That guy sure likes to travel for a young fella. He sure gets around the world. Of course, he's chasing that girlfriend of his around the world too, so that helps.
Well, that'll look great on YouTube. As you can tell, we have more than one pilot missing today.
Yep, it's one of those days where it's just down to the four of us. But we'll hold down the fort and get it done. We're inbound to Saunders Island landing strip. I think it's just a dirt strip, but it's a lot easier to find than that one we took off from.
There's a lot of cool islands out here. I'd just like to build a house on one of them. Put a little landing strip out there and probably a boat dock. And just live on an island.
Alrighty, gentlemen. When we get to Saunders Island landing strip, we are going to be landing on runway 11. Count on runway 11. Only an elevation of 54 feet, so we're right down there at sea level. But we're looking at a big dirt landing strip. It's a pretty big one too, so it's 2,400 feet of dirt. Should be easy to find, but just remember runway 11. And we are only 27 out. Everybody able to keep up just fine?
Yeah. I'm in your wake.
All right, how about a super easy trivia question real quick? How about a math question? You guys are all good at math, aren't you? How about, what is the sesquiduplicate of 100? Anyone know what the sesquiduplicate of 100 is?
I've never heard that term.
That's right, it's a question. No one? No guesses? Coast, you're a big engineer. You should know what a sesquiduplicate is.
Well, that's the, is that the 250 or something like that?
Nailed it. Holy moly, Coast, you're a genius. Yes, sesquiduplicate means twice and a half as great. So the sesquiduplicate of 100 is 250. Amazing.
Because I remember what sesquicentennial means.
Yeah, I remember the sesquicentennial too. Yeah, it was great. That was a good time, actually. My dad was in the military at the time, and I was only about 9 years old. And boy, the military put on a big old party for that. It was a good time. I remember all that. We ate corn on the cob, and just it was a huge party for the 150-year anniversary or whatever it was. Yeah, these things are super easy to fly, aren't they? It's nice to see a tight group of planes going on. Looks like a train.
I read some design information about this too. The wings are designed to prevent stalls.
Yeah, that's very good. This thing, you can go super slow in it. So I think as we're landing, we can go as slow as about 45 knots. Probably going to go about 50 just to make sure, but yeah, 45 knots would be a good landing speed. A reminder, we're coming in for runway 11. So you guys hear what the new big trend is now these days? These corduroy pillows?
Yeah.
I hear they're making headlines. Sorry.
I should have heard that one coming.
Yeah, you should have saw that one coming.
God, I had corduroy pants from Sears back when I was in like 4th grade.
I haven't had a pair of corduroys in 20 years or longer. I remember I had a nice pair of baby blue corduroys I wore to high school all the time back in '83.
I gave them up in elementary school. Mine were like chocolate brown.
Nice couch cushion color. "19 miles out. Should see the airport here pretty soon. The airport's going to be on a different island than this one that we're approaching right now. It's just past it. It's hard to believe that we've been flying these flights for about 14 years and we've never gone to the Falkland Islands. Been to Argentina a few times, which is just down the road, but never made it to the Falklands.
Bet you haven't done the Antarctica either, have you?
Well, I checked it out myself just briefly. There's, believe it or not, there's not much there.
That's the problem. That unless you get an add-on with a bunch of extra runways, the default runways are so far apart that it doesn't make much sense to fly there.
And there's absolutely nothing in between. I mean, I will eventually have to go there. I think there's polar bears, so I'm trying to track down all the animals and get pictures of them and stuff. So I think there's polar bears that we need to check out.
Did you find the snakes yet?
Nope, they ain't even looked for them.
Let me know when you find them.
Yeah, I'm guessing snakes are going to be pretty hard to find. Like I said last week, I think the only way to do it would be to find like a swamp or something. I don't know where they're going to be. Find an area where there's snakes supposedly, and you're going to have to land and walk around. I don't think you could have a chance of seeing them in an airplane. You just have to walk around on foot and see if you have a chance of seeing them. You know.
This would be a good plane to do some of that scene from. I'm assuming you get to choose what plane you want, right? When you're doing the animal locating stuff.
Yep, yep. The problem is, like when I was doing these African savanna, looking for elephants and rhinos and stuff, at first I chose a really slow aircraft. It was really nice for sightseeing, but every time I tried to land, it was almost impossible. It's just, you know how crazy it gets when you're not on a runway. It gets pretty bumpy. And it would flip me over every single time. I tried 10 times and never managed to get a good landing. So I switched over to that VTOL aircraft. That what is it? What is it? That Joby copter is perfect for that. The Joby's great. It doesn't fly around longer than a half hour, but it's perfect for sightseeing.
Just bind a key for fuel, and you can keep adding fuel if you need it.
Oh, what I started doing is I just give myself infinite fuel, just because the point of that flight is to find animals. I'm not trying to realistically fly around, so I just put it on infinite fuel and I can fly for hours. All right, guys, 15 miles. You can see the island in the distance where the airport's going to be. It's going to be out on the end of a little jetty there. When I came and tested this the other day, the dirt airstrip is pretty easy to find. It's some pretty dark brown dirt compared to the grass. It's easy. Well, speaking of all these animals that I'm looking for, how about an animal trivia question here? This one's easy, guys. You'll get this. How many knees does an elephant have?
What?
One knee. Nope. Anyone?
I would assume 4, but I have no idea where it goes here.
I'll say 4.
Yeah, they do look like they got 4. Yeah. No, the truth is all mammals only have 2 knees. Yeah, that's true. The 2 in the back are knees, the 2 in the front are elbows. All right, one more animal trivia question before we get there, as long as we're talking animals. What animal causes the most deaths worldwide?
Horses.
Yes, absolutely. Right on. Horses by far. Horses kill more people than anything. I think it's just because people spend a lot of time around horses, and it's going to happen. They're big.
Just ask Christopher Reeve. Oh, that's right. You can't. He's dead.
Stable aircraft, though. It doesn't bounce around that much.
Yeah, this thing is rock solid. I can see where it makes a great search and rescue kind of thing. And as sci-fi as it looks, it is 100% real.
Made the mistake of trying out that new aircraft they gave us Tuesday.
Oh, it's not good?
It's a cool plane. Yeah, it's a cool plane and everything. It's modeled pretty good, but it's so slow. But the thing is, I flew it here locally from one local airport to another, and it was the absolute worst time I could have picked because it was just a complete pouring down rain, so there was no visibility, and it was like 60, 70 knot winds up at altitude. So as soon as I got off the ground, I couldn't see anything. And what normally should have been about a 20-minute flight took me about an hour and a half. I could have drove there in an hour. So I was so tempted several times, just crashed the thing in the ground. I was about to give up, and then I came out. I ended up like way north of where I should have been, and I came across some lakes that I recognized. So it's like, oh shoot, I know where I'm at. So I just dipped down really low to a highway that I knew of, and I just followed the highway all the way into town to where I knew the airport was.
There you go. Follow them highways, man. That's what real pilots do, especially helicopter
That's actually more
pilots.
common than people think.
Well, it has a cruising speed of 65 knots, but when you got a 45 knot headwind, it literally, I could have walked there faster and that thing was flying. I mean, it felt like I was just hovering.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if somebody was watching you, it would look like you're just hovering. We used to do that.
No
we used to do
autopilot
that.
on there either.
Sorry, Bob?
That's called IF.
So guys, we're about
That's it.
8.5
No
miles out. We should be there very shortly. 8.5 miles. We should see the runway here pretty soon too. You can see exactly where it's going to be.
Just wanted to tell Longhorn that's called IFR.
That's not VFR. Well, it's supposed to be IFR conditions, but that plane doesn't have IFR.
I think.
IFR stands for I follow roads.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very common with actual pilots to just fly along the roads. It's a good way to find where you're going.
Well, it helped that I knew where I was in real life because I drive it all the time. So I knew where I was once I came across them lakes, and I'm trying to go through it because we have lakes all around us. It's like, well, it can't be this lake because this lake doesn't have a highway that runs along the side of it, so it's got to be this lake. And so I guessed right and found it, and found the town. But I mean, I had to be like 100 feet off the ground to be able to see anything. But that thing does not handle the winds at all. It's such a light plane. It has no power.
So what kind of speeds you say that thing maintains?
It has a cruising speed of 65 knots.
Oh geez, that's slower than this thing by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's my type of airplane. I probably won't fly too much of it. I'll check it out just to see what it is. They're going to give you a free airplane. You might as well check it out, right?
It's a Brazilian aircraft, I believe, and it kind of coincided with the Brazilian World Update.
Yeah, Brazilian. Geez, that's a lot. All right, guys, we're only 5 miles out. We should see some kind of sign. Actually, I think I do see it up there. Remember, we're going to be landing on runway 11, runway 11. Big dirt strip, you should see it easily.
So is it on this island in front of us, or is it off to the right? Right.
It is, it's on this island right in front of us. We're heading directly at it here right now. I'm going to jog off to the left before I start landing, but I'm going to wait until I see the runway first.
Oh, okay. I think I see it. It looks like it's right after a little water body up there. At least I see a patch of dirt up there.
Yeah. If you look on the map, you'll see that there's like a little, I don't know, like a little chunk of land sticking out. I don't know if I'd call it a peninsula or not, but I definitely see the runway now.
Oh, I see. Yeah. What map?
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's way bigger than we need.
Yeah, this doesn't even have the EFB in it. I can't open it in VR. Well, I can open it, but I couldn't do anything with it. I don't know. I got all kinds of dirt places to choose from here.
So I like to use I have two monitors. That way I can drag my EFB map over to the other monitor and not be in my way.
Yeah, that works if you're not wearing a VR headset.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
Hey, Captain Hopper, I see. Noticed how groovy looking these birds are. Absolutely, they're kind of fun to fly. They're not the fastest thing in the world, but they are like the easiest, simplest airplane you can get. It's great. It's nice to actually have them in the default game now. We used to have to get them off the websites and stuff.
So we're going to be doing like a 1-2 or something. What's the?
This big dirt strip here is runway 11. Don't forget to give yourself lots of flaps. If you give yourself full flaps, you can go to about 45 knots, and that should make it real easy. Lazer Bolt is turning final, runway 11.
I actually see a little community, a building and some stuff.
Yeah, our second stop is right outside of a small town, like a small fishing village or whatever. It's pretty neat looking.
Beginning to wonder if these islands are even inhabited.
There doesn't seem to be much here, does there? But then again, like I said, look where they're at on Earth. We're just, we're not very far from the Arctic Circle, or the Antarctic Circle.
Oh, so they're really far south. Yeah, there's no snow down here. What is this? This is coming into, what, fall now for them?
I was not paying attention to my speed, so this might be rough. I'm going way faster than I need to be.
It's funny, the little dust stuff, the little dust that's getting kicked up is so far behind you guys' planes. Oh yeah, I'm coming way too fast too.
This thing has tons of flaps too. I mean, you put the flaps down, they're almost sticking straight down. So it slows down easily, but you better step on them brakes, buddy. You're going quick. Better stand up on them brakes. Oh, nice. Got to do a stop. Yeah, these birds are great. I love it. They're super easy to fly.
Wow, and I could do like 360s in place on a dime.
Yeah, they even taxi nice. Coast came to a good close stop there. He only used about 1/5 of the runway. Very nice. You did do your homework.
Yeah, I researched the aircraft.
Alright guys, let's back taxi to runway 11 and we'll take off from there. For this next leg, we're going to be going past the mainland over here, the main big island. There's quite a mountain range that we're going to have to go over, so I'm going to bring it up to about 5,000 feet. I'm not even sure that's enough, but it'll be close enough for us to judge if we need to go higher or not.
God, these rocks look like they're going to puncture my tires.
Yeah, you were throwing gravel all over the place. Well, alright, that was a good first landing. We're getting off to a good start. Alright, our next airport is the North Arm Airport. So, let's get to going to North Arm Airport. Lazer Bolt is spooling up and rolling.
Alright, co-pilot, you stare at me one more time, I'm kicking you out.
Yeah, those co-pilots are creepy, aren't they?
I don't know, I'm kind of enjoying mine.
Not mine. He keeps looking at me like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I feel like I'm being judged here. My piloting skills.
Did you guys notice that there's 3 seats in this thing? 3 seats in front. There's 3 right next to each other. That's unusual.
Yeah, and the two on the left are the piloting positions, and then the one on the far right is just for passenger.
And for me, it's kind of different. I have the left pilot position, and then to the right, there's 2 seats. Like, I don't know, like the co-pilot, and then just some kind of, somebody just sits
Yeah,
over
well,
there.
that's what I mean. It's, you know, I'm in the far left seat with the stick, and then the seat just to my right has a stick, but then the seat to the right of that is just an empty seat next to the window.
Well, I just noticed that. I didn't notice.
Okay, so your version that you're in Laser Bolt is the scientific research one, but it says police on the side.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, 'cause I saw that variant, and I figured it'd come loaded with all kinds of like scientific stuff inside, so I didn't want that one. I just figured, oh, let's just pick a yellow one. It looks cool.
Yeah, this police livery, that was just the default one for me. I didn't even check to see what the rest of them were until I got in the air.
Must be some real live weather wind going on here because it's blowing me at about a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, Andy Platter, absolutely. These things are a strange looking bird. Like I say, my best joke is that it looks like an egg, but it doesn't have a yolk. It just has a stick to fly around. These things do lose a lot of speed when you're climbing, so keep your eyes on that. So you guys all remember Hello Kitty, right? Remember Hello Kitty? I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But here's a question for
My
you.
wife.
Oh, she likes them?
Yeah.
Well,
But she'll know the answer to this, but this is going to be a trivia question for her.
okay, well, she might know this then. What kind of an animal is Hello Kitty?
Hey, Cheryl.
That's cheating.
Nothing like come on. If you can't cheat when you're flying, you gotta cheat.
It's not cheating.
Well, my answer would be cat, but I know I've called it a cat before, and she's chewed me out for that. So
It seems like it would be
hey,
a
Cheryl.
cat.
But I know that doesn't have a mouth. But she has like original Hello Kitty stuff going back to when it was first came out.
Oh, really?
Got, like,
Oh, she'll know
massive
this.
collection of it.
Yeah, she'll know
Yeah,
this.
that's one of the things we're supposed to go when we're supposed to go to Vegas in February for our birthday. We're supposed to take her to the Hello Kitty Cafe. But now we'll have to do that in May.
Have
She's
fun.
either- Hey, I told her as long as we can go to Bass Pro Shops, I'll take her to Hello Kitty Cafe.
That sounds fair.
Did she ever give you an answer?
She isn't responding to me. I don't know if she can hear me.
Yeah, well, does anybody have a guess? Even in the chat stream there for the stream, anyone have a guess? What kind of an animal is Hello Kitty? It's almost a trick question. Well, I'll give you the answer. Hello Kitty is a human dressed like a cat. There you go. Not a cat at all, it's just a girl.
Okay.
Alright, like I said, I'm climbing up to about 5,000 feet. That should be plenty. I'm just crossing 4 right now. I'm going to try to maintain 90 knots when we get up to cruising altitude. We are 44 miles out from our next airport.
Okay, she swears it's a cat.
Nope.
I told her to look it up. I expect to get hit in the back of the head with a frying pan any minute now.
I'm glad she can't reach me.
That's if you're lucky.
Say guys, we are inbound for Sierra Foxtrot Sierra Quebec North Arm Airport. When we get there, count on runway 18, runway 18. It is a game surface, short grass, but it's still pretty easy to find. It's really big. It's about 2,300 feet, pretty much sea level. So count on runway 18 when we get there. I'll remind you.
It's weird. It's almost like they couldn't come up with like a real term to describe some of them, because some of the surfaces they'll tell you, gravel, asphalt, concrete, but then they'll have some that said that game surface, and it's like, what's up with that?
Yeah, just call it grass, because that's what it is. It's short grass. Yeah, this is a pretty neat place because it's just outside of a little fishing village, and you can kind of look down the hill and see all the cars coming and going and people going about their business. It's not a very big town, just a couple shacks there, but it's nice looking. So I'm about ready to level up at 5,000 feet here, and when I do, I'm going to try to maintain 90 knots.
I gave up and retired my HP Reverb G2.
Oh, what happened?
Nothing yet, but I already told you last year I had to back it up from Windows 11 back to Windows 10 because they broke it because they took out Windows Mixed Reality. But apparently they're even going to do that in Windows 10 now, and there's an update that I had to disable and prevent it from updating because that update would have bricked it anyways, and they said at some point they're going to force that update on my computer regardless. So it was just the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, that's a shame. From what I hear, that used to work pretty good. I just use Steam VR because I got a Quest 3, and that always worked good with me. But I talked to a lot of people who hate it. It really tanks for them, but for me it works really good.
Well, I ended up getting the Pimax Crystal Light, and it has its own built-in native OpenXR interface, and this thing is just like rock solid smooth. Originally I tried to do the Steam VR, and oh my god, this thing, it just caused nothing but problems. So I just went and did the original one that came with it.
Yeah, I've heard quite a few people say that it just doesn't work for them. For me, it's real easy to use and it works great.
Yeah, even in the software that this came with, it even has a button to choose to enable Steam VR, which I know there's certain programs that I'm gonna have to use Steam VR for anyways. There's some of the games that I have, because I had to do the same thing with my Reverb G2. A lot of Steam games use the Steam VR, and it worked fine in that, but Microsoft Flight Simulator did not like Steam VR with the Reverb, so I had to use the mixed reality. And yeah, that doesn't work. That's going away. It sucks that Microsoft can brick your 3-year-old VR headset because they decided they don't want to support it anymore, the software. And I didn't realize that at the time that I bought it, that it was tied to whatever Microsoft decided to do. So if Microsoft decided to take it out of the Windows, then guess what? Your headset doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I'm glad I got the Quest 3. Well, I had a Quest 2 years ago when it came out, and I was real impressed with that. So when Quest 3 came around, I jumped right on it. And I love it. Works great.
I wanted to get something that had the higher resolution because I was used to the higher resolution of the reverb. And this definitely has a much better resolution, but the sweet spot is actually, there is no sweet spot. The whole thing is crystal clear.
Oh, nice. Yeah, with my eyes, I can't tell the difference anyway.
The only thing I'm having issues with, it's not quite as comfortable as my HP was. It's almost like it sits more flat on my face, whereas the
Right.
reverb would kind of like contour to my face.
Yeah, the Quest 3, the strap that came with it wasn't very comfortable either. Kind of the same thing. It sits on your face funny and it feels real heavy. A lot of pressure on your brow. I got a better strap for it, and it's great.
Yeah, they apparently have better straps for this one too. So I'm gonna give that. The other cool thing about it is where the reverb felt like I was looking through like aviator goggles because my vision was like two round lenses. This one that's like rectangular and it's a little bit wider to my peripheral vision out the sides. So
Oh yeah, that's
it's more of
important. I can see where that'd be helpful.
So that looks really cool.
You just
And
turn
I
your
can
eyes
actually-
instead of your whole head.
Yep, and I can read all the gauges now.
Nice.
And the nice thing is, since I upgraded from the HP, they gave me like 3 different options for like discounts, whatever. And the option I chose was the better speakers for it. So those are supposed to be coming in a couple of weeks. Because right now the speakers that are on this have like no bass. And definitely don't sound as good as my HP did.
Neat.
So that's
How
what I
did-
was asking. How do I sound? I didn't know if the mic was as bad too, but.
So what are those, just something that you kind of plug into the side of it and it externally has sound, or you clip them on? What's
Yeah,
that?
well, yeah, because this one has a couple of speakers that are built into the headset that are just kind of like just below the strap. The ones that they're sending are like my HP reverb was. They screw in the side and they hang down about 2 inches. Well, the HP you could adjust them up or down so they match like right in front of your ears, and they were like fairly large. I'd say maybe 1.25 inches in diameter, and had really good sound to them. They were like, audio good quality. I just listen to music and stuff in them. And they're not touching your ears per se. You got like a 1/2 inch between them and your ears, so you can kind of hear things going on around you. But if you turn the sound up loud enough on them, then you could drown out all other noises. These
Right.
speakers here, I've got them set at 100%, and I hear everything around me.
Yeah, usually if I want to have good quality sound when I'm using my Quest 3, I just plug in a set of headphones, and then they sound fantastic. But before that, it's okay, not great, but the headphones is amazing.
Can you wear headphones with your Quest 3?
Oh yeah, I just put them on over the top of it.
Because well, I'd have to take these speakers off because on the side of this, there's 2 speakers that stick out probably 1 inch out each side. That's where the sounds come from. I just covered up. There's 2 little holes in the bottom of each, one hole in the bottom of each speaker. I just put my thumbs over them. The sound went away.
Oh, there you go.
This thing is.
Like they're pretty weak. Huh?
Oh, they're very weak. They're at 100%. It's like turned all the way up, and it's like I almost wish I could make it go louder. I do wish I could make it go louder. So I'm hoping the new speakers they're sending me will actually go louder, because my HP, that thing, it sounded good, and I could crank the sound up. A lot of times, especially once I'm doing like long flights, I'll just put on a radio station in the background and listen to the music, and then or Pandora or something, and just crank out to the music while I'm flying.
Well, how about another elephant trivia question? We determined earlier that elephants only have 2 knees. Here's another question for you. What is something that elephants and humans uniquely have in common? No other animal in the world has this, but elephants and humans.
Fingernails?
Nope. Anyone? Anyone in chat even? What do elephants and
ducts.
humans have
Tear
in
ducts.
common? Sorry, Cos, what was that?
They both cry. They have tear ducts.
Ooh, that's a good one, but I don't think that's it. I think there might be more animals that cry, whether they want to or not. Well, here's the answer for you. Apparently, elephants and humans are the only mammals that have chins. I don't know why that is, but elephants have chins, humans have chins, and no other animals have a chin.
Chimpanzees don't have chins?
I guess not. And I
Sure
guess
looks like they
maybe
do.
the definition of a chin is kind of specific, but you know, like how humans have the little cleft chin kind of thing there, elephants have the same thing. One more animal question. What is the biggest animal that ever lived? Biggest animal that ever lived on planet Earth?
Is this physical or ego?
Ooh, nope, never heard of that. Sounds big though.
The biggest one that ever lived? That would be the blue whale, I think.
Yes, Coast, you are on fire today. You are a wealth of knowledge. Yes,
Well, when you
the blue whale
when
is
you-
the biggest animal that's ever lived on planet Earth. People would think it's some kind of dinosaur, but nope, blue whales are freaking massive.
I watched Nova.
I've seen their skeletons out on the coast when I head out there. They've got a museum out there. They've got a blue whale skeleton set up in, and that's where I learned that. But when you said on Earth, I was thinking like you meant on land. So it's like, you know, well, you're probably not talking about the blue whale then. So I was thinking like, well, it must be like a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something.
Not even Tyrannosaur is not the biggest dinosaur.
Oh, that's right. What is that other one? The Brontosaurus or something?
A variant of the Brontosaurus, yeah.
Yeah, and so when it comes to dinosaurs, there's huge variations of all of them. The Brontosaurus, and I think they had the one in Jurassic Park there was even bigger than that.
Hey, did you know they're coming out with a Top Gun 3?
Are they really?
Yep.
With Tom Cruise?
Yep.
Huh, okay, I'm on
You
board.
think you won't get a heart attack in this one? What is going on?
Well, it's supposed to come out this summer, and it's supposed to pick up, I think they said 4 years after the last one finished off. He is now leading an instruction, or he's now a lead instructor at a flight school, and supposedly like AI is taking over the world.
Oh, with
and-
drones and stuff.
Yeah, so it's something along those lines now.
I gotta say that last one, Maverick, that was fantastic. I enjoyed the hell out
Oh,
of
I
that.
love
I watched
that.
it a number of times. It was surprisingly good for a sequel. You know, for a sequel it took them 30 years to make.
I like the old Screen Rant we used to do. Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. We watched that one as we're flying,
They
didn't we?
compared Top Gun to Star Wars. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, there's big similarities. Oh, of course, as I'm watching it and then they're talking about their mission, I'm like, well, this is just Star Wars, man.
Yeah, I actually, when Top Gun Maverick came out, I had bought the original one. I mean, I'd seen it a number of times, but it's like, well, shoot, then we can't watch Maverick without rewatching the first one. So I
Right.
bought the DVD for that, and we just made it a night, watched both of them like one after the other, and
Yeah.
it was like
That
so the
first
story
one was-
kind of like,
It was so long ago, you almost have to watch it again.
yep, yeah. Well, and it probably had been at least 10 years probably since I had seen it. So it's like, oh shoot, let's watch that one first, and then we'll watch Maverick. And so the story just like went right into one from into the other, and so it was really good.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I got the double on DVD.
They still make those?
They do for now. I hope they don't do away with them because I like taking them with me. Actually, I end up getting them and then I convert them to Vudu to the digital version of it. But that only works if I can stream it. So I like to take movies while we go camping and sit back and watch a movie before we go to bed.
Anybody want any VHS tapes?
I have so many of those now.
Yeah, me too.
I even got a bunch of VCRs that are all boxed up that I'm not about to take out now, but most of the VHS tapes I have are kids' movies from my wife's kids. But I've still got all the Star Wars and stuff on VHS and a bunch of other things that we used to like that I'd end up buying DVD versions of.
So, gentlemen, we are only 20 miles out from our next destination. Just a reminder, when we get to Sierra Foxtrot, Sierra, Quebec, we will be landing runway 18. Runway 18 is grass, but it's long and pretty much sea level, so it'll be easy to find, and 20 miles. Keep your eyes peeled. You'll probably see the little village we're landing next to first, of course. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that Maverick movie is the first movie I bought in a long time. I'm going to bring this bird down here a little bit, let's say about 2,500.
These things like more like flying flying carpet than flying an airplane.
Yeah, they are very stable and they're great at slow speeds. Like I said, at last airport, I wasn't even paying attention to my speed at all, and I came in pretty hot, but it still worked out okay.
And the brakes work pretty good on them.
Yeah, they do. So you can see the coast over there, and that's where our airport's going to be, right on the coast. How about one more quick trivia question before we get to our next airport? Here it is. How about, let's say I had a car accident that decimated my vehicle. Oh no. But why is that not so bad?
It's only 1/10 of it.
That is true.
1/10.
Coach, you are on fire today. You're a wealth of knowledge, my man. Yeah, to decimate something...
Give me some hard ones.
Yeah, to decimate something literally means to remove 1/10. So I think people use that word incorrectly all the time. Yeah, decimate means remove 1/10 of it.
See, I always knew it as the completely destroyed.
People use it as that all the time. I just saw it the other day when somebody, it was like in a TV commercial or something. You'd think they would know better, you know.
Well, that's because decimal means 10.
Alrighty, gentlemen, we are 13 miles out. Keep your eyes peeled. It is only a grass strip, so it's not going to be too easy to find, but it's pretty big.
Is your DME working? No. Mine's not.
I don't think mine is either. On the first leg, also, I wasn't having any trouble following the pink line, but on this one I have to do it with the heading bug. For some reason, it's not latching on, but it's okay. It's just, it's only navigation.
Mine took me off course too, but when I got closer back to it, it locked back on again. but I had the same issue.
That's good. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to fly the rest of the flight just using the heading bug. I don't mind.
Well, I
I'm
got it back
leveling
in
out.
nav mode, but it's locked on now in nav. It drifted away from us for some reason for a little while.
Yep, old Flight Simulator likes to throw you a curveball all the time. They're really good at finding something new. Every flight there's something new going on to where it's like, yeah, it worked perfect last week. It's a complicated piece of software, I guess. That kind of stuff happens. So, all right, we're 10.7 miles out. We should see a sign of this place here pretty shortly. Keep your eyes peeled. We're landing runway 18. 18. Also, I forgot to mention, this is our penultimate stop for the evening. So when we get down on the ground, let's park up nice and pretty, and we'll take a 10-minute break. It'd be a good time to use the bathroom or grab a pop or grab a snack, and we'll take 10 minutes. I'm not sure, but I think I see the runway already. I see the area where it's going to be in. It's like you can see there's like a, we're landing in between a lake and the peninsula there that's jutting out. Runway in sight. Don't forget to give yourselves plenty of flaps. If you give it full flaps, you can go nice and slow, about 45 knots. We've got a really beautiful sunset going on up here. It's looking nice. If I'm not careful, it's going to be dark before we get to our last stop. Although we are so close to the South Pole that the sun kind of skims along the horizon. It doesn't go up or down very fast. It goes sideways. That's why, you know, eventually they'll have a day that's, you know, 24 hours of sunlight, and then they'll have a couple days of 24 hours nothing but darkness. But that sunset lasts forever. see that kind of a lake kind of a looking place there? That's the runway right next to it.
Yep, got it.
Yeah, I wish you could get rid of that co-pilot. It kind of creeps me out. Yeah, see that neat little village right next to it? It's pretty nice looking. There's not much there, but it looks nice. It looks quaint. So this really looks more like a dirt runway, but they call it grass. There's a road running right alongside of it too, so that makes it easier.
Hey, cars.
Yeah, yeah. Just think about that. How how would it feel to have a car, but you only got like 20 square miles to drive it around in?
Probably like living on one of the small islands of Hawaii.
I would admit, yeah, I would imagine it's probably more popular to have a boat around here than a car. It'd be more practical.
Or a bush plane.
Or a bush plane too. Or how about
That's what
something
I
like
say,
a
I like to
goose?
I'd like to live on one of these little islands and have an airplane and a boat.
That would be the life, wouldn't it? Airplane, a boat, and a fishing rod. Except I'm not a big fish eater.
You don't have to eat them, just catch them, throw them back.
That's true. Apparently there's a lot of sheep around here, so that's probably what people eat a lot of.
Lamb chops.
Lamb chops indeed. This is a very wide runway. I love it.
I don't even see it.
You know, it's basically, if you follow the road, it's just to the right of it. That whole big brown chunk to the right of the road, that's the runway.
Okay.
Doesn't look like one.
It doesn't look like one at all, but that's what it is. And it is lined right up with runway 18. It's at a heading of 18 degrees, 180. Got a lot of cars cruising around here, don't they?
Must be a good crosswind because I'm flying sideways.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I left live weather on, and I'm flying at a 45-degree angle right now.
Yeah, I didn't use live weather. I figured that's just asking for trouble. I just put up a few clouds and made it look pretty. All right, gentlemen, when you get down, go ahead and back taxi to the beginning of runway 18, and we'll take 10 minutes. Yeah, I gotta say, I really enjoy flying this Optica. It's a nice bird. We could drive right into town and go get a cup of coffee. That was a beautiful landing there, Wingnut. You landed real short. You too, Coast. Right on. Look at you guys.
Foul wouldn't I did, that's why I had to land that way. I figured if I flew white like he flew, then I'd be able to not hit him.
Not hitting stuff is important.
Looks like a little coffee shack over there.
Yeah, a little quaint little fishing village. I love it. Alright guys, let's say we will get back up in the air. We'll call it 25 after the hour right now. It's not quite, but we will. We'll call it, we're back in the air at 35 after the hour wherever you live, in whatever time zone. That reminds me, we have a time zone trivia question coming up. Get your thinking caps on.
I'm leaving some crazy tracks in the grass here.
A quick reminder to anybody watching the stream, if you're interested in joining us at any time, now or next week or whatever, we've been doing these for 14 years straight, but anytime you feel like joining us, all the information you're going to need is in the description of the stream, and you can actually click on the Discord thingy there and hang out with us in Discord, where we have all the information there as well, plus a PLN file that you can download, and you pop that into your GPS and you're all set. So please, don't be shy. If anybody feels like joining us, please do. I will be right back, gentlemen. I need to trade this coffee in for a cocktail. It's Friday night. Let's go. Yeah, I always wondered now that they have avatars in the game where you can get out of your plane and walk around. So they've got models of people and stuff. I always wondered if they were going to manage one of these days to have pedestrians walking around in cities and stuff. That'd be kind of neat. I mean, really, this game is getting so in-depth, it's not just a flight simulator anymore, really. Sounds like your puppy dog is hungry there, Longhorn. Well, believe it or not, our next airport, we're going to be landing on an asphalt strip. Nice. We haven't seen one of those all day. It's the second biggest airport in the Falkland Islands. It's called Stanley, Sierra Foxtrot Alpha Lima. I'll remind you when we're on the way, but we will be landing on runway 9. We've got 3,600 foot of asphalt. Holy moly, that's a big one. I'm going to roll back out onto this runway here and get prepared. We will be taking off in 3 minutes. Pretty much heading straight east. Well, I know this runway looks like it's dirt, but if you get the camera down far enough, you can see little flowers in the grass. 1 minute till departure, gentlemen. 1 minute. We're going to be taking off out of here. I don't think we need to go too high. This is pretty flat around here. I'm going to keep it about 2,000 feet, 90 knots. We're going to take a left-hand turn and get on course. Alrighty guys, let's get these birds back up in the air. Laser bolt is spooling up and rolling. I keep wanting to put the gear up. They kind of look like they're like articulated, but they're not. Ooh, I almost stalled it. Came out of there a little steep. And it's not even easy to stall this thing, but I almost did it. Oh, I did it anyway. Look at that. Yikes. Don't pay no attention to me.
The wingtips are designed to wingtips of this are designed to prevent stalling, and so is the cord of the wing.
I made the mistake. I turned my autopilot on too soon. I should know better than that. I was just trying to maintain that course. Don't do that again.
I think we're probably too far away from the pink line to autopilot to lock on, even, actually.
Yeah, I wasn't even trying to do a nav GPS. I was just doing a heading bug, and it still did that to me. It tried turning too fast. That's actually must be a bug in the system, because in real life it wouldn't turn you that fast, so you'd stall. It would make sure that it doesn't. Anyway, I'll still call it my fault.
It opened up this little accent window on the side of my canopy or cockpit here and wanted to stick my hand out.
I'm going to climb up to about 3,000 feet on this leg, when really 1,000 would probably be enough, but I'm going to bring her up a little bit.
It's nice to be able to open up a window without crashing your airplane.
Oh, I haven't even opened up the windows in this thing.
Yeah, this has got some pretty dark tinted windows. Wonder how it'd be to fly it at night. maybe they're like
Well, you-
solar windows.
Notice on the bottom of it, it has a nice searchlight and a camera system. Actually, the camera system works too. You see that panel? There's like
No.
a panel off to the right side. It says OmniView. You can turn it on and move the camera around.
That must be your research one then, because I'm not seeing anything like that in this one.
I got
really?
one. There's a, look for a little on-off button down in your lower right-hand
Yeah.
side.
I think Longhorn must be right though that different versions of it have different equipment inside.
Because I'm not seeing any kind of little button. Is it below the fuel gauges? Or?
It is to the right of the GPS. There's
right.
usually nothing there. This has a big screen to the right of it. The only problem is if I use it, I have to sit in my co-pilot's lap, and I ain't doing that.
How would you see the button then? Because
It's right
in
part
VR,
of
I mean,
it's right on the screen itself.
It looks like a computer on-off button.
Hmm.
Computer on-off button. It's got a little circle with a little line through it.
nope, don't have anything like that.
You'd see it if you did. It's huge, and like I said, it's just to the right of all your other instruments. It's to the right. I can see that if you took it off there, it would.
I see it on your YouTube, but I don't have it on mine either.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah,
It looks
'cause we
like
just
it looks like a FLIR system, like an infrared. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, we just got the GPS Garmin 530, and then, that's the end of the dashboard per se, and then there's nothing next to that.
Yeah, this is the same size as the GPS, and it's just to the right of it.
Oh.
Looks like they bolted
Okay.
it on. It's huge.
Yeah, there's definitely not that. So, I should have chose the other one. Oh well. This one. Let's see.
Yeah, this should be a very nice final leg here with the sun setting. It's just going down over the horizon.
Yeah, I briefly tried messing around with the EFB to try to put some fuel in this thing before we left, but apparently it didn't work because I'm down to a quarter of a tank.
Geez, I didn't even check my fuel. I don't know where I'm at. Yeah, I've got a half a tank. Apparently it's got 2 tanks. I'm halfway on both. So it's not too bad.
Oh wow, I'm a quarter on both.
At least it's taking fuel equally out of both of them. A lot of other aircraft just take fuel out of one tank or the other, and then you end up getting lopsided when you're trying to land.
Well, that's because your switch is set to both.
Yeah.
Switch is at the back of your center armrest. That's
Yeah, but some aircraft like the Baron and stuff like that, they don't even let you do both. You can say both, but it'll still only take fuel out of one or the other. And apparently it's that way in real life too. I don't know why, but maybe it's a safety thing. I don't know. But it just seems weird that it would let you just take fuel out of one tank and then your airplane gets real heavy on one side, But it's a real thing.
I wonder what the fuel dump lever does. Will I like spray my fuel on somebody below me?
That sounds about like what it does.
It says warning: fuel content under mounting panel must be removed before closing cutoff handle. And there's a red lever that says fuel dump.
I wouldn't recommend dumping it
If
unless
I
you're
pull
real
it
close
up.
to the airport.
Yeah, maybe I'll try when I land and see if my fuel goes down to 0.
I would imagine this thing glides just fine. It's alright, Laser Bolt is leveling off 3,000 at 90 knots. Yeah, Andy, for sure I caused myself to crash because I wasn't paying attention to which fuel tank it was on. But yeah, I talked to Travis and he said that's a real thing. They do that. They do it on purpose. He told me the reason. I couldn't remember what it was, but some kind of vapor lock makes sense. Yeah, I like this Optica so much. I think we're going to have to fly this again sometime soon. I'm planning on next week's flight being a C-130 Hercules flight, but one of these days when we're in an area where there's a lot of cool stuff to actually check out, like a city or something, we'll probably fly this Optica. This is a good bird. All right, how about some last leg trivia? Here is a bizarre one for you. Okay, listen up. In July 2008, what happened to the beach in Coral Springs, Jamaica? In July 2008, something happened to the beach in Coral Springs, Jamaica. What was it?
Tsunami.
Negative. Good guess, though.
Bunch of sea crabs washed up.
Nope.
Sinkhole. Sinkhole.
Negative. I suppose I forgot to mention that an acceptable answer for some of these questions is nobody knows. That's the answer. What happened to the beach in Coral Springs, Jamaica? Nobody knows. Overnight, somebody came in and stole the entire beach. They took 500 truckloads of sand off the beach, and nobody saw anything, heard anything. Nobody knows what happened. Just somebody stole the entire beach. Weird, huh?
There's no way somebody could do 500 truckloads in a night without being noticed.
Aliens.
Well, that's what this thing said. It was
That
an
makes more
article
sense.
on. It was an article on trivia questions where nobody knows the answer, and this was one of them. I thought, well, that's interesting. Yeah, 2008, somebody stole 500 truckloads of sand off of a beach in Jamaica, and nobody saw a thing, or at least nobody's talking. You know? Oh, what the hell would you do with 500 truckloads of sand anyway? I mean, if you live in Jamaica, you probably got plenty of sand already, right?
Make a big cat box.
Speaking of aliens there, Coast, you ever guys ever see the aliens, those little short dad jokes that the aliens do in Facebook and other places, I think YouTube as well?
No, I haven't, but
Are you
I like the whole
accusing
sound of
me?
it.
Are you accusing me of something?
Oh, no. I was just watching one today. The aliens, they do these little dad jokes, and not unlike you though, Coast, but they they had a good one today. They said that diarrhea is hereditary because it runs in your genes.
Oh, jeez. I like that. I'm going to use that. Yeah, Andy says he looked up that last trivia fact there, and yeah, did it say what I was claiming here, that somebody stole it? Yeah, cool. All right. You know, sometimes it helps to like double fact check stuff just to make sure it's actually true online, and I didn't double check that. But yeah, apparently it really happened. It seems like when somebody's trying to sell 500 truckloads of sand, people get suspicious, you know. I guess, though, if you can't go to Jamaica, you can bring the beach to you.
Well, if you're building a big building, you need sand.
That's true. Sand is pretty helpful, especially if you're making a glass building.
Well, you mix it with concrete.
A reminder, gentlemen, when we get to Sierra Foxtrot Alpha Lima at Stanley, we will be landing on runway 9, or count on runway 9, 3,600 feet. Holy moly, we can land 5 times. Alright, one last trivia question. This is an easy one. What is the most abundant element on Earth?
Okay, you want to know?
Lay it on us, Coast. I know you got it.
No, I'll let you guys go. Go ahead.
It's a little bit of a
Coal.
trick question, but not really. It's true. What's the most abundant element on Earth? It is not the most abundant element in the universe.
Coal? I don't know.
Carbon.
Carbon, negative. Oxygen is the most abundant element on Earth. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not sure if carbon is an element. But yeah, the most abundant element in the universe is hydrogen, because it's the simplest molecule, only has one nucleus, one electron, and all that kind of stuff going around. But on Earth, hydrogen isn't even on the list of like top 5, because Earth has a hard time hanging on to hydrogen. It's so light, it just goes up into the atmosphere and gets blown away by the solar wind. But on Earth, the most abundant element is oxygen. And the rest of the universe, hydrogen is by far the most abundant thing. It is, luckily, it's not found naturally very much on Earth, but it's really easy to make. We can make it real easy just by separating water with electricity into its hydrogen and its oxygen. But yeah, one of the things that also makes it rare on Earth. Well, it's not exactly rare, but it's hard to hang on to because it's such a small molecule. It is the smallest of molecules, the simplest of molecules. Even if you put it in a really thick lead tank, it will find its way out. It'll seep out through all the other molecules, and eventually it's hard to hang on to. But like I said, luckily it's easy for us to make, and we make it all the time.
Isn't that the cause for the Hindenburg disaster?
I think that was hydrogen, or was it? I think it was hydrogen. Yeah, it might have been.
I was watching a show today. A builder was building these muscle cars, and he had a truck that it made it run on hydrogen. A nice one too, man. It looked pretty cool. Don't know how safe it is, but it was cleaner. It would run clean.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz lately about this hydrogen combustion engine going on. I don't forget the company, JBD or something like that makes it. But yeah, that's the thing that seems to get everyone's attention, that it is very clean. It's a very clean energy source. The only thing that it releases out of the tailpipe is water. Pure water just comes out. That's all that it does. But like I said, the big problem in my mind that people don't take into account is, they say, well, hydrogen is the most abundant thing everywhere. Well, in the universe it is the most abundant thing, but not on Earth. And it takes a lot of electricity to make it. So right there, it's very inefficient. You might as well just use that electricity in an electric car. It would be more efficient than trying to burn it in your vehicle, you know what I mean? But they've had hydrogen fuel cells for decades that are relatively efficient, still not as efficient if you just use the electricity for something else. But these hydrogen combustion engines are going to be popular because they make a lot of noise. People want their cars to sound like cars, you know what I'm saying? The hydrogen fuel cell just sounds like an electric car. Nobody wants that. But these hydrogen combustion engines are even less efficient. I mean, I think the numbers in a hydrogen fuel cell, it is like a 50% efficiency if you get a really good one. These hydrogen combustion engines that are new are more like 25 to 30% efficient if you're lucky. But they make a lot of noise and they sound like a real car, and everybody's excited about it. So, okay, go. I mean, I don't want to be the downer or nothing, but I fear that this is a case of, I've seen it a million times in my life. I'm an old guy. Too good to be true, you know what I'm saying? If something sounds too good to be true, then yeah. Everybody's like, oh my God, hydrogen is cheap, and it there's no fumes, there's no nothing. It's super good and healthy for the planet, blah, blah, blah. I just don't think it's very sustainable. It takes too much electricity to make it. And to make electricity, 90% of that is made by burning fossil fuels. So are we really saving anything? I don't know. I don't want to be that guy to say boo-hoo to something that everybody's excited about, but I have a very wait-and-see attitude about this. And one of the things people don't realize too is if you take a look at one of these hydrogen cars, the tank is huge. Part of the tank is in the front of the car, part of the tank is in the back of the car, and it runs all along the bottom of it. And even the center dash console thing is a tank. I mean, they use a lot of hydrogen. Like I said, hydrogen's cheap and it's easy to make, but it's kind of, it takes a lot of electricity. And you have to have a big-ass tank for it to actually get you anywhere.
I saw a bus today that said it ran on hydrogen.
Yeah, apparently one of the big industries that's already using it is things like agriculture and stuff like that. There's a lot of like harvesters and things like that have been in production for a while now that are quite successful. People are buying them and using them. I guess cars and trucks are going to be the next thing, and it's happening like right now. There's a lot of buzz. Like I said, even though hydrogen fuel cells, the quiet type, the more efficient quiet type, that's still not very efficient, but more efficient than these. Those have been around for a long time. Matter of fact, I think Toyota tried making one of those a while back, and nobody bought it. But they say these new hydrogen combustion engines are going to be quite popular. So we'll see. I mean, if it is everything it's cracked up to be, I couldn't be happier. I'm a bit skeptical.
There was a tug down there in the river. Is that somebody actually in a tug in the game, or is that some other AI stuff?
No, it's some AI stuff, but I think it's kind of like the airplanes. That, like, if you see airport traffic coming and going, those are actual airplanes in real life coming and going. I think it's like that. They got a list of ships and stuff like that have schedules, and they put them in the game following the schedule that they supposedly have. So that's why all these ships usually have a name, and that will be the actual name of the ship. I don't see it myself, but I have seen quite a few of them. I just always thought that was pretty cool, that, like, if you see a ship, that ship is probably actually there in real life.
Yeah, it's got all the information just like an aircraft. It's got the name tag, and then it says tug working in port 2 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's an AI ship, then that's real traffic. I don't see
That's
it.
impressive. Yeah, I don't see it either, but I've seen quite a few of them before. I'm probably just a little too far away. It's not appearing yet. But that's just a neat idea that they can do it. Like I said, I've always been impressed that if you sit at an airport and you watch these jumbo jets coming and going, those are actual jumbo jets that are on a schedule, and you can actually listen to their conversations if you tune into the broadcast. Yeah, there is not a whole lot here at the Falkland Islands, but it's all very pretty, very beautiful. I love it. Looks like a great place to get away from everything.
Keep your eye open for some sand.
Yeah, they had to offload it somewhere. Maybe they're trying to make another island. Alright, I found one more trivia question that I forgot to ask everybody. It relates to something we were talking about earlier. Remember, we were talking about time zones. What country crosses the most time zones?
I would guess less.
Sorry, Coast, what was that?
Either it's going to be the U.S. or Russia. One of the U.S., United States, or
Negative. It was a surprise to me to see the answer. That's why I wrote it down.
China?
No, it's not China either. It's I don't know. I would have to see a map to make any sense of this. It doesn't make sense to me. But the article I read said that France has territories in 12 different time zones, as opposed to the U.S. with 11, and Russia only has 9 time zones. So yeah, France of all places. I mean, I guess France does have places all over. You got like the the French Riviera and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So they got places all over the world, and not very
French-
big places, but they got them all over.
French Polynesia.
Yeah, there's that too. So they don't have a big continuous time zone presence, but they've got little places all over the world covering 12 different time zones. Huh, go figure. Now, gentlemen, we are about 20 miles out from our final destination for the evening. A reminder, we will be landing on runway 9er. It's a big, huge runway. It'll be super easy to find. And it's relatively straight in, so count on runway 9er.
Had another grass or dirt runway.
No, this is a big old asphalt runway. It's like huge.
Those grass runways are interesting. You see all the dust and debris flying up when you land.
Yeah, I enjoyed them actually. That first airport that we took off out of, I'm not sure I would have had fun finding that. I'm glad that's where we took off from, because that just looked like a big field. It didn't look
Yeah,
like a
you couldn't
runway.
tell.
Even when we were on it, it didn't look like a runway.
No, it didn't.
So yeah, this runway 9 we're coming up to is 3,600 feet of asphalt. That's huge, man. Yeah, we'll find that easily. Like I said, this is the second biggest airport in the entire Falkland Islands. You may have noticed off to our left wing about 10 minutes ago there was a huge airport. That is the biggest airport. I'm guessing that's the biggest city in Falkland Islands. The Stanley is the second biggest city in the Falkland Islands. So count on runway 9er.
I thought that would be Stanley would be the biggest one in the islands, and yeah, and Oliver would be the biggest actually.
Oh, is that
Stanley
it?
would be Oliver would be the biggest.
I don't really know any of the cities here in the Falkland Islands. I don't know much about it at all. Whoop, I just ran into you there, buddy. Wingnut. I didn't mean to. I wasn't even looking. I'm looking behind me.
Oh, not the,
I was
not
referring
worried.
to Laurel and Hardy. Stanley Laurel and Oliver Hardy.
So where was that? You said last week, Coast, you mentioned that, what's the guy there? You said, he was a comedian from Argentina that I never knew. Who was that? I can picture the guy. Big old cigar, fuzzy mustache, glasses.
Groucho.
Yeah, Groucho Marx. You said he was from Argentina or from the Falklands?
No, I was making fun. I was making a funny.
Oh, I thought he actually came from
Yeah,
Argentina.
you're doing those dad jokes, man.
Oh, the dad jokes.
Yeah, I said it was Groucho Marx.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I fell for that one, buddy. Here, I was thinking, it's like, wow, I don't know too many stars that came from Argentina, but there's one.
The one thing to flying these Opticas is that you see a lot, but then you see a lot for a lot.
Yeah, they're pretty slow. But they're nowhere near as slow as that brand new airplane they gave us, and I like it. I like it because it's pretty high tech and it's got all the gadgets and gizmos, and yeah, it flies really good, super stable.
And it has autopilot.
Yeah, and it has a nice autopilot. We are 14 miles out, so we should be able to keep an eye open for that airport here right shortly. Of course, it's right on the coast coming up. I'm going to go ahead and jog off a couple degrees to the left here so we can line up for runway 09er. Got some beautiful sunset colors going on. Nice peach and orange. Really like it. This for the first time since we've flown all night. Those are the first wind turbines I've seen in the Falklands. They must not have too many of them. Of course, we're right by this big old city. Say, Wingnut, I see that the information on your airplane says Optica passengers. What does mine say?
Yours is Optica Scientific Research.
Scientific research. Okay.
Yep, that's what I see on it.
Doing it for the science. There's actually snow on the hills around here. It's the first snow I've seen, considering we're so far south.
So that's
I mean,
not
like,
just
we are
Wednesday.
seriously close to the South Pole, or at least to Antarctica. I guess Antarctica is pretty big. It'll take a while to get to the actual pole. Lazer Bolt has the runway in sight, and we'll be turning final for runway 9 here in about a minute. Not only is this the biggest runway we've seen tonight, this is the biggest runway we've seen in a couple weeks. Eight-mile final. Yeah, I have a ship down there called Casa out there in the water. Don't know what kind of ship it is, but there it is.
Yeah, it says sailing.
Oh, okay, yeah, I finally got the details. I'm guessing that is a, like a tourist kind of a ship. That's why it's got a schedule.
I see several. I see one Ivy Yang or Robin Lee fishing vessel.
Okay, yeah, I even have one called Venison of Venison of Antarctica, or Vincent. That's what it is. There's two boats on top of each other. It's kind of hard to read with
Yeah,
that.
I see what you're saying there. I see them. Tug and something else.
That's a pretty neat looking area. This city is very skinny. It just goes along the coast.
Everybody wanted oceanfront property.
Tell you what, they got a lot of it around here. Can't get away from the ocean. The funny thing is, there was more cars in that little tiny village than there are here. I don't see a single one.
I just flew over a bunch of them back here on this main highway coming into town.
Oh yeah, I see some trucks on the highway. Very nice. Nice looking area. So look at these buildings down here. There's some kind of a, I don't know, actually it looks like a big hotel, 2 of them, but they're like circular, cylindrical.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, and it's got something written on the ground here. Brisbane Castle, Clyde, something or other. Huh. It's written right on the ground. Lazer's on 2 mile final, runway 9er. Look at that ship down there called Falcon. It's a huge. It's a fishing vessel. Gigantic one though. All right, gentlemen, when we get down, we'll try to find the tower and park near the tower. It appears this runway has a huge run-up, so don't land in the wrong spot. Make sure you go all the way to the actual runway. The run-up looks like it's about half as long as the actual runway itself. I do not see an actual tower here, but let's just go to this big old parking lot.
Yeah, I see the parking ramp, the other aircraft there.
Oop, hit them brakes.
I'll just use winglet to stop me. No wonder the freaking windsock is pointing straight out for me.
Oh,
Behind
really?
me.
What is that like? Do you have live weather going?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so there's a heck of a tailwind.
Jeez, I tell you what. Yeah, you in real life you would never land in that direction. Wowee. Well, other than the gigantic fireball, that was a pretty nice landing.
I gotta get out and inspect my plane when I get down here and see what kind of damage he did to me.
I think I just took your wing off.
Ah, you don't need those.
Not anymore.
Yeah, Longhorn, you pulled up over there by the fuel.
Yeah, seeing if they ever made it work yet, but no fuel.
Yeah, Andy Platter points out that this design for this aircraft would actually make a great RC vehicle. I agree. I'd love to see this.
Yeah, I think it would.
Yeah. Hey, Andy, if you ever get something like that going on, I know you like your RC stuff, post some pictures in the MS Flights group chat. I would love to see that.
I tried that hobby a little bit when I lived in Florida, but it was fun.
Yeah, I always kind of had trouble with RC planes, just like, when they're flying towards you, the controls are backwards and stuff. It's really hard
Takes a
to
little
get
bit
used
to. Get used to.
Yes, it is. I've always had much better luck with drones. I love my drone. Well, gentlemen, I enjoyed the flight tonight, and I appreciate you guys putting up with me, and we're going to do this again next week. We probably won't be taking off out of here, but we're going to be flying a C-130 Hercules group flight somewhere. We'll find a good place that deserves that. And, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. If you are interested in joining us, always look on the stream to find the information of what airplane we're flying and what airports we're visiting, and we would love to have you. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.